Wizards Heat here at Capital One Arena tonight. It'll be the first home game of the 2018 season for Washington. It also might be the first game in uniform for Dwight Howard. We don't know yet or not whether he'll play. It will be a game-time decision for the man once known as Superman. One of the ugly side of sport reared its head this week with the ongoing news of anabolic steroid and performance enhancement drug use in sport. But with all the news, what is not being talked about is the real, tangible, debilitating effects of anabolic steroid use. Nate Lewis this week found some soldiers on the front line of the battle between natural ability and chemically enhanced performance. As I mentioned, there's a little bit of a shakeup at the top, but let's start out talking about football.
I want to be the best passer on the field.
The top player on the ESPN 300 list of high school senior football players is Justin Fields. Those are his top 5 schools, but heck, everybody wants this young man. Let's talk to him. Dax, first of all, thank you for joining me, and you made a decision this week that a lot of the college football world was anticipating. The report obtained by ABC7 did not find the toxic football culture indicated earlier this spring in an ESPN.com article. However, it went on to say that players were afraid to speak up, which meant the problems arising in what they called a dysfunctional athletic department were likely to fester. It's hard to believe 17 years ago, Flight 77 crashed into the side of the Pentagon, claiming 184 innocent lives.
Buckle up, sports fans. This is ABC7 Sports Sunday.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me tonight. Can we just say it was a good day in the DMV? First the Redskins, then DC United. Let's start with the burgundy and gold. They beat the Cowboys today. They are alone atop the black and blue NFC East division. On the first drive, Alex Smith drives the Skins into scoring position. Check out Capri Bibbs. Nice his way through the Cowboys defense. 23 yards for the touchdown. Redskins up 7-0. Good to see him getting money. But before the half, the Cowboys strike. Dak Prescott finds Michael Gallup on a stop and go, beating Greg Stroman. That's 49 yards. That would tie it at 7. For nearly half a century, a legendary coach by the name of Morgan Wooten led the DeMatha Catholic High School basketball team to 1,276 victories. But the legacy of Coach Wooten at DeMatha impacted far more than what happens on a hardwood surface. The athletic department at DeMatha has had great success for decades, setting their student athletes up for a successful high school career, one that begins with academics and character development.
We work off of 3 principles. Number 1, do what's right. It's right to be honest, it's right to be trustworthy, it's right to have character, it's right to study, it's right to go to class. The second thing we do with our kids is do your best. Don't settle for mediocrity. The third thing we talk to the kids about is basically the golden rule I think that everybody lives by is treat others the way you want to be treated. If you can do those 3 things and impart those 3 things to a young person, I guarantee he's going to be successful.
DeMatha's success has been staggering. The basketball team has won 34 league titles. That is almost every single year since the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference began recording championships. DeMatha's football team has been equally dominant, and McGregor averages an incredible 10 Division I scholarships annually for his young football players.
I had the fortunate ability to learn from Coach Wooten, and Morgan I think had every senior from 1960 until he retired get full basketball scholarships to college. So he was able to show me how to deal with the college recruiters and how to write the letters, what to say, and things along those lines.
The dynamic of mentorship is also something that DeMatha is instilling in its young student athletes.
We constantly talk to our kids about the mentoring process that we have. At DeMatha, it's type of situation where the torch will be handed down from the senior class to the junior class, to the junior class to the sophomore class, and eventually to the freshman class. And I think the kids who come here know that they're going to get their opportunity. They may have to be patient, but when their opportunity does come, they're going to have great things be able to happen for them. I want you to speak right now. There are hundreds of thousands, even millions of young men who grow up, who have grown up, who are going to grow up, dreaming about playing big-time college football, who even imagine themselves being recruited by one of these type of programs and playing there. But they really don't have any idea what that's like. So I want you to talk to that person. Tell them, what is it like in this recruiting process?
First, it's a blessing, but after a while, you start to see the rigors of it. I know it kind of gets hectic at times, And so you just got to stay level-headed throughout the whole process. I mean, don't take it for granted, because I know a lot of people don't get to go through it. So
I imagine you've gotten calls from Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney, and Jim Harbaugh. Do you remember where you were the first time one of them called you?
I think I was here at the school.
Well, who was the first one to call you?
I'm pretty sure it was Coach Saban.
What did he say?
They just loved my film. They just thought I could fit in their program very well. And so they just wanted me to take visits up there. So when I did, it was a great experience.
The Rocket at the 10.
I've heard rumors that back in the 80s, Notre Dame used to call kids during like the national championship game and say, "You hear this? Do you want to be a part of this?" Nick Saban's a pretty laid-back guy. Is he the same laid-back guy when he's talking to you on the phone?
Oh, yes, he's a very cool guy.
More on the Redskins win in minutes, but first some more football. DC United, they had a huge game today against New York City FC. They win, they're in the playoffs. How about that? So we start the game in the 8th minute. Luciano Acosta shredding the New York defense. Centers to Wayne Rooney. He puts it home. Lucky Luciano with the assist. Goal, United. It's 1-0. Later in the 24th minute, Paul Areola goes to Rooney. Rooney collects it. He can't make it happen, but look who's here. Acosta with a perfect strike. Goal, DC United. The black and red win 3-0. They clinch a playoff spot. Congratulations to Ben Olsen and the boys.
Long year last year to be in the postseason.
Losing a loved one can be an emotional roller coaster. A Loudoun County 16-year-old was in a dark place, but volleyball brought her into the light. Scott Abraham takes us to Ashburn for tonight's Rising Star. Drew Brees has a habit, and it's breaking NFL records. He did it again today against the Ravens. Let's go there. Ravens hosting the Saints, and fans around here are all too familiar with this. Drew Brees breaking those records. All right, some serious fireworks last night between the Rockets and the Lakers, and it all stemmed from this. James Harden going hard to the basket, and for some reason, Brandon Ingram felt the need to shove Harden, so of course he gets a tech from that. But here's where it really gets crazy. Chris Paul muffs Rajon Rondo. Rondo gives CP3 the one piece. And don't forget about Brandon Ingram. This could have been a lot worse.
He felt like he got spit in the face.
Didn't see anything, and I didn't say nothing to my team after the game.
Let's not forget, that was LeBron James' debut in Los Angeles, overshadowed tonight. Okay, that's it for this edition of ABC Sports Sunday. I'm Joe Ball. Make sure you stay safe this week, and don't do this. An LSU assistant coach likes to headbutt his football players while they have their helmets on. It was a sight Smithville, Mississippi Police Chief Darwin Hathcock will never forget.
It was just like a monster headed this way. It was a very, very large funnel cloud.
At that same moment, Smithville Mayor Greg Kennedy dove under a desk at City Hall as the super tornado passed directly overhead.
All you felt was just pressure in your head, and all you could hear was just a roar.
The tornado came in the middle of the afternoon, right through the heart of downtown Smithville. When the storm had passed, there was debris everywhere, like the remains of this house. The downtown area was destroyed, and 15 people were dead. Longtime resident Danny Chisholm managed to shepherd his family into this homemade underground shelter, which may have saved his life. When he climbed to the surface, it looked like a bomb had detonated. The whole neighborhood was gone.
I knew it wasn't going to have no home when we come out. You couldn't even see the streets when you walked out. I didn't know where to go. You couldn't tell one place from another, and everything looked the same.
Chief Hathcock had a similar reaction as he surveyed the damage.
I thought nobody could have survived it because the view I got when I stood up, I looked back in this direction and there was nothing there.
Most of the homes were destroyed, cars crushed, and lives devastated. Nearby, every building in Smithville's downtown was destroyed from the hardware store to the gas station. This town of 900 people wiped off the map in minutes. But days later, a major cleanup has begun. The city has been designated a federal disaster area, and emergency officials are on the scene to help the recovery effort. It'll take months, if not years, and the emotional scars could take even longer to heal.
Oh, I'm very lucky to be alive because the only thing left that's not crushed in City Hall is the boardroom table that we were under.
Many residents like Danny Chisholm are hoping to rebuild.
We may get it again, but we're going to try it.
Despite losing two close relatives, he wants to stay.
but it's likely his hometown will never be the same again. Joe Ball, CCTV, Smithville, Mississippi.